Now, this is a time where many things are getting cancelled, and that means festivals, events, concerts, including my graduation. But as compared to, I don't know, the results that we're getting, the exams that we're taking, maybe that's not much of a big of a deal. Now, these past few months have been crazy since 2020, but these are serious times which require serious action, and that has got me to think about how students are affected by this tasteless, colorless, odorless thing called the COVID-19. So, as you can tell from social media pretty much on a daily basis, as everything continues to change depending on the record high or record low of the reported cases, the only thing you can guarantee right now is that things will continue to remain uncertain. But the effect varies depending on each person's circumstances. Hence, for this project, I've interviewed 5 students from 5 different backgrounds and 5 different circumstances in order to understand how COVID-19 actually affects students in Malaysia. So, let's get started.
My name is Fadila. I'm currently 23 years old, plus. And I'm a graduate of sports medical science. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship, so I studied in the UK at University of Exeter. And now I'm working for an international medical conference company. So what we do is we make and we manage medical conferences for doctors worldwide.
So my full name is Putri Angel Binti Faisal. I'm 25 now. I live in Kapong area. I am a psychology sort of graduate. I haven't really gotten my physical degree, but I've finished all my courses and whatnot. Currently, I am working as a recruiter for an IT solutions-based company.
Hi, my name is Nura Ifraya. I'm 18 years old. Just finished my SPM. I'm doing an internship at Only 18 right now. Part of Project 57 and part of my movement. Yeah.
My name is Ursa Jemima. I am a second year in International Relations and International Law. I study at a public university in Terengganu. Currently, I am running 2 NGOs that focus on refugee rights, that focus on access to medical services and education for refugees. So that is currently 100% taking up my time. And yeah, I'm passionate about refugee education and youth empowerment.
My name is Yasin Zulkifli. I just graduated from International University Malaya-Wales in Bachelor of Professional Communication. So currently, what I'm doing is a full-time freelancer social manager.
It completely halted my life, and I feel like even though my experience is a little bit different in terms of settings because I was in a different country, but I feel like it's quite similar to everyone, all the students in Malaysia. So I was in my final year of university, and at that time it was March, and I was on the way to uni walking by foot for our final presentation. It was very important for that subject. And I was already in the university campus, and then I got an email from my professor saying that everything is shut down. We are in a full lockdown, go back home. And I was quite surprised because it's the first time that's ever happened. We've never had to cancel a class before. And I was surprised because it was a group project, so we've already practiced and everything. So it was weird. And then when I got home, that day, I realized that, all my housemates, I was staying in a house, all my housemates had the same message as well from their professors. And that was March. The lockdown was similar to Malaysia because it was just as strict. The only difference was they had in UK, they had a little bit of freedom for exercise once a day. But everything else was similar. We cannot go anywhere. um, that's far away, limitation to the car passengers. The only time we went out was to get groceries, and even then, we used to just order groceries. We did online shopping, so it really stopped everything because we still had a lot of projects going on, a lot of final year projects and everything, and we had to go see our professors, or we had to see our group members and stuff, and we couldn't, so we could only just do it online, and it was very new to us because we've never had like any online learnings before, online classes. So yeah, we had to do everything on our own at home. And actually I plan to go back to Malaysia in June for Raya. But I couldn't. I was stuck over there because I couldn't come back because there was no international flights at the time. And I actually had booked tickets for my family to come to my graduation, and I really worked quite hard for them because I worked since first year. I planned to do that, to have them to come because they've never been overseas before. So that was my dream for them to come. And I had to cancel the flights. I was quite sad because I already booked the tickets in January. So yeah, I couldn't go back for Raya, and I also all the studying was halted. Everything was online, even exams, and also my graduation has been postponed inevitably. When I got home in mid-July, because I got the scholarship from JPA, they were quite worried for us. So they managed to get a travel agency to get us home. So I got calls from them and they arranged everything. And then I got home by mid-July, alhamdulillah. And then actually I did my 2 weeks as a Gelang Pink member. So I had to be home, and it was actually quite depressing for me because I've been home for 4 months, even though it was a pleasant experience with my housemates because we were all forced to be home, so we had a lot of good memories together. We were very baking and having a lot of fun together, but it was very depressing for me because I've had 4 months of continuous lockdown, and then when I got home, another 2 weeks of continuous lockdown, and after that, just as continuous quarantine. And then right when I finished my quarantine, I got appendicitis, so I had to go to the hospital again. So that was another 2 weeks of just being bedridden. And after because it happened during COVID, I didn't have many visitors. It was just my mom and my family, and even then it was really hard for them to even come up. So yeah, it was quite a sad experience because my friends couldn't come and visit me, my extended family couldn't come. I went for the surgery. I was actually alone. My mom wasn't there. It was my first time being on a surgery bed and everything. And I had another 1 month of being bedridden because to recover. So it was very I'm actually quite extroverted. So it was really hard for me to just stay at home all the time. And after that, in September, I managed to get a job, alhamdulillah. It was also a virtual sort of job, virtual events job, similar to the one I have right now. So yeah, I noticed that it was very difficult to get a job that was in person, and especially with the degree that I have. When I said halted, I meant it took them 2 weeks to release a statement saying, okay, you finally figured it out. Everything's going to be online. All your exams are going to be online, and you're going to have online classes. For 2 weeks like that, they were like, we don't know what's up. Please just stay tuned. We're going to update you and all that. Because at that time, a lot of students who had the money, they went home. They went home immediately. I had a housemate from Italy. She immediately went home because her hometown was faced a lot of. Italy was really struggling with COVID. I had a lot of friends who just left. We couldn't even say goodbye or anything. And they were all in their final year. So it was very sad because we wanted to graduate together.
If I'm not mistaken, 14 January 2021, I posted, not infographic, but I voiced out about SPM issues, because at that time, if I'm not mistaken, on 12 January 2021, Malaysia's COVID cases reached beyond 3,000. again at that time. And then furthermore, it was the highest daily number of newly confirmed COVID-19 infected individually. So is it, yeah, at that time, it really affected me because like, is it safe for the SPM and other major exam candidates to go to school next week? Because the following week, we have to go to school just for the SPM candidates only. So I was like, I got afraid, because I don't want to risk my life and I didn't even get my vaccine yet. And there's so many things going on at that time. And as for example, right now, we have like 7 cases, right? Yesterday was the highest cases of COVID-19. So imagine that those kids have to go to schools just for the sake of the paper. So it's not fair. So also, like, during this time, right, during this pandemic, the students' mental health have affected. I mean, like, me, myself, receiving a lot of messages from these students. Some of them are battling with depression, anxiety, and other mental illnesses. They couldn't even go to hospital without an appointment for official letter to seek for help due to MCO. So yeah, easier said when you're not the ones who are going through this, right? We have to continue our online learning. We have to continue our learning online, and then we can't even do a proper, I would say a proper, experiment. I mean, we have like this science subject, right? Bio, physics, chemia on our SPM papers, but we can't even do it as practically, because due to COVID-19, schools closed, so that we cannot do it the one particular experiment in order for us to understand one particular subject. So this is something that's running and going around, and this is, it's different. Imagine that for paper 3 sejarah, we have to sit for like 3 hours in order for us to finish the paper. Imagine that we have to wear face mask for like 3 hours, and then the exhausted. Then when you're in government school, sometimes the fan is not that really working, and then it's like so many things are going on. I feel like it's so different, and the environment like totally different. And then the teachers also they are struggling to make sure that the students can fully understand that what is she's trying or he's trying to educate.
Well, as a student, because I kind of finished everything, and I don't have any more pending coursework whatsoever from the uni as of around January only. Like that was the final one where I handed in everything and nothing left. I guess it's just that my struggle as still considered student, because I was afraid that because I don't have my physical degree that I wouldn't be able to get a job. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten that much offers, because I don't have like a physical degree to show them. That is one. Another is that because I'm still pending considered a student with uni. And the reason why I'm still considered a student is because I still owe uni money. It's basically what happened was my mental health was really bad during my final year, and that was I was in the middle of doing also my research project 1. Okay, so because it was so bad, I couldn't really do well. In the end, I wanted to just like wing it, and I told my lecturer actually what was going on with me, and I said, you know what, because I don't think I can like really push myself. I don't care if I don't get an A right now. I'm already okay with C. But my teacher and my lecturer, she saw that I was able to do more, and she didn't want me to just wing it like that and jeopardize my grade. So she said, if you want to drop this subject, you can drop. And I was like, okay. So I decided to drop, but I dropped it really last minute. So I had a penalty to pay. So I told them, okay, but I don't have the money now. But I did not realize that there was late fee penalty until a little bit later. So when I finally realized it amounted to quite an amount already, I said, it's okay. Is it okay if you just hold it first and let me find a stable job first that I can pay back? And fortunately enough, uni agreed. But that's the thing, because of what happened last year also, that I was jobless throughout the entire year. The money that I had also, the pay that I got during January, February, March also, it was for me to pay for the necessities at home. So I couldn't really pay for my uni yet. Fortunately, also that I have been kept only last year, this year not yet. I have been keeping in touch with the finance. It was a little bit difficult because with the study from home and everything. So yeah, it was a little bit difficult to get a hold of them. But so far, it's still okay. So now, because the thing is, another thing about my job is my first job last year, I was getting paid okay, like the bare basic that we're supposed to be getting. But with this current job, yeah, with this current job, they actually paid very less compared to my previous job. So I couldn't save up also enough money for to pay back the uni. Especially now because, like I said, I've just moved back with my family this year, and I'm actually paying more now for the necessities than I was. So it's a little difficult for me to actually save up the money. So yeah, I'm just worried that this is going to be continuing to end, especially now that after my last week with this company, I'm actually thinking of taking a break because of my mental health. I've been struggling with it for so long already, and I'm afraid that if I push myself, I won't be able to, actually cope later on with a new job or able to perform well. And I might also, double-edged sword where I worsen my mental health because being in this current company actually took a toll for me, not only mentally but physically. Almost every week I would actually get sick. Earlier this month, my blood pressure was really low that I could not even sit up of bed without fearing of actually fainting. So I had to take like two days NC because the next day was a public holiday. So yeah, I decided to I would say like a short sabbatical where I just want to focus on myself to make sure I'm ready to cope what is next, because for me there's no point in worsening myself if I'm not, if I won't be able to help myself.
I would say firstly financially, like me and those around that I know. Mostly, I think number one problem is financially. That is, you want to go and work, but also you have this. You cannot. You have to be apa rakyat yang berguna. So you have to stay home. You have to juggle with that. That's kind of like the worst because they open up the vaccine for our age. And then the website got jammed and all. I was in my house, and I think that's the first time I actually experienced or realized that wow, all my families are affected. Because okay, so I have like 6 siblings. I'm the last one, and 3 of them are married with 2 kids each. So we all live under one roof. So when they come home from work, they have to be with their children. So we never really see what stress they're under. But like on that day, I witnessed like, oh my god, okay. So what happened was my one of my sisters had to go to site. So like it or not, she has to. Even though the company works from home, she has to go to the site. And my other sister with like a little baby, the company won't let her work from home, so she has to use public transportation. And also public transportation are getting worse because of the whole accident thing. So we were all like, we all have problems, or we all have challenges. So on that day, sorry, is it okay if I speak my English, by the way? Oh, okay. Macam when we want to get the vaccine, like at 12 p.m., everyone has their laptops together on the table. Anak-anak semua bagi tengok movie. So we were like there, okay, ready. And then the website got jammed, and everyone was so stressed, and we were like cursing and shouting. Everyone was it was so chaotic. And two from 6 of us got it, but they don't exactly 70 million for a million website, and they did that. So I don't want to be I don't want to be political or anything, but yeah, obviously rakyat is stressed. And from that lah, I see macam bila tahu-tahu when they announced that dah tutup after the whole, I almost campak my laptop. I was like, what? Cannot say the word. So, and yeah, that's the first time I see some of them actually broke down or like hide the tears. Then I realized like, oh yeah, oh my god, they had to go out, and then they had to come back home with their little child. And my parents are both keluarga emas, so that's why I have this great anxiety as well, because I might be a carrier, but I forgot they're also two. I mean, they might be two. Just because they have a baby or they're older than me doesn't mean they can't be carriers, So I don't realize that until now, how much stress we're all under in. So yeah, I think that's the worst thing that happened. And it really considered, even my friends, we were all FaceTiming each other, trying to get the vaccine together. And when it all happened, everyone broke down. And it sucks to see that. It really sucks. It puts you in a very heavy place where you feel like, thankfully, I got my vaccine appointment. But yeah, seeing those, I'm not happy because I feel like we don't deserve this.
We students are sacrificing our education, time, and even our health for the government to tell us what you have considered is political possible, like the world that they are created. So, I mean, like, all of us stand together, and that's why we do this hashtag Suara Pelajar to make sure that everyone can voice out their voices, everyone can speak up, everyone can talk whatever they want, everyone can actually share their problems. And I can see that a lot of MPs as well, they lend a hand and lend a ears to actually, anything that they can do to help these kids and these students. But again, they can't do so much because at the end of the day, the decision depends on our MOE. So I can see that during at that time, I can see that our 18 years old students actually our future hope of the country, because they can actually be together, they can actually stand together, and the hashtag Suara Pelajar suddenly trending on Twitter. Imagine, like, I don't even know who are you, but suddenly because we are same batch, because we are 18 and we have been going through the same thing, and we can just easily click with one another. So I can say that during at that time, people are actually help one another, the back itself, help one another, support one another. Even though sometimes I receive a picture where somebody cut himself or cut herself just because of they can't take it anymore. They don't want to sit for the SPM, but they believe that they are not the only person who going through. They are not the only one who going through these kind of things, and we remind one another lah. Yeah, I think that's a good thing when people keep supporting one another. Yeah.
Pretty planned out. I think all of the situations that I have that I'm in right now, they're within my ability to control. For example, I can control how my NGO is running. I make the decisions on how we're going to operate within COVID area. There has never been, pre-COVID, there was no NGO. So we were born in the COVID area. So that is our reality. So we don't really have to figure out a way on how to adapt. So my plan is already is figured out. I already know what I'm going to do next. For my other friends who are probably struggling and wading through Honestly, I'm there. There's a part of me that's constantly worried, obviously, because they have this. I think the generation that I'm studying with now, they're very obsessed with the academic pointer. So 4.0, Dean's List. So it's so that I feel like that whole obsession and addiction to quote unquote academic success is contributing to their mental stresses and everything else. Yeah, I think their plan is pretty direct. Once they graduate, they want to work with the government. But again, I think because they're so stuck on that idea and that plan, it is contributing a lot to their mental health. Yeah. If for me, I think once the pandemic passes, I'll graduate. I'll work with International Planned Parenthood. I'll continue my 2 NGOs and I'll get my master's. So I think yeah, like I said, like I'm the person who's like the least affected when it comes to COVID. I think it was my peers, the thing, that's what I'm talking about. The generation that I'm studying with now, they are 19, 20, 21-year-olds. They have a completely different mindset than me. They are completely unknown. They are completely disconnected from the reality of what's it like out there, because all they know is graduated from high school, graduated from diploma, going right into degree, you know. So all they know is how to succeed academically. So succeeding academically is the route that they're planning to take. So I think whenever I ask them what their plans are, they can never look far enough to the point where, you know, they can think of other things. All they know is, okay, I'm going to work with the government and that will assure me some security, which is also fine. It's completely fine. But they haven't allowed some room for them to, you know, maybe a gap year, you know, take some time off and really explore what they really want to do. Yeah, but that's the kind of crowd that I'm working with, at least.
Even though I had a good time during the lockdown in the UK, I realized I was sort of, you know, I wanted it to end. I would tell myself to just slow down and smell the flowers, because I was quite anxious about everything, you know, changing and blah blah, and being so uncertain, not knowing when I'm going to see my family again, that I didn't truly 100% enjoy my time with my housemates. I will tell my previous self to spend more time with my family as well during the pandemic itself, when I wasn't around, because my dad actually caught COVID. So I realized that, you know, they needed me the most at that time, and I don't think I realized that when it was happening. So, you know, I wish I spent more time with them and supported them even more than I did. And about looking for a job, I realized that I was rushing that as well. I guess it's because all of my friends were like starting somewhere like in a big corporation. I was feeling like, oh, I need to, you know, apply for like 5 jobs a day or something like that. But I realize now that that's not how you'd go about it. Looking for a job is a job itself, and you need to pace yourself. You need to track your job hunting process. You need to have a good, you know, Excel sheet and like just track everything. When did you apply? Who did you apply to? Did you give them your CV? Blah blah blah. And always have more options. Don't just have one job offer. Try to get as many as you can, so that you have options and you don't just go with the first job you get because that's the only one you have. I think that's the most important thing I learned throughout this job hunting process during the pandemic. And even though it's a pandemic, you should still, you know, have choices. I think I want to add on one more, which is to not compare yourself to friends around you. I was noticing that I was doing that a lot. Of course, we're in this adulting age where, you know, you see people getting married, you see your friends getting a good job or whatever. And I realized that I've dialed back on social media. So I don't really go on Instagram. Maybe like I go like once in 2 weeks or twice a month, something like that. But I realized that once I've done that, it really helped with my mental health, because I never realized that I would be someone who's affected by, you know, watching other people's lives, because I know that that's an important point people make about important reason why people stop using social media. But I realized because I was home a lot and I didn't have much to do, so I didn't really have much distraction. Like, you know, if not, I'll just be going out here and there. So I realized that that was taking a toll on my mental health lah. So I was realizing like, oh wow, you know, people are, you know, getting married, people have a good job, and what am I doing, blah blah. So after that, I was just like, you know what, this is not healthy for me. It's not making me any happier. I shouldn't compare myself, because I shouldn't compare someone's chapter 30 to my chapter 3. It's not good. So yeah, so I decided to do that lah. Comparison is the thief of joy. That's why I think.
Always look at both sides of the coin, in a sense that I've also experienced, you know, different types of people. There were times that I actually thought I could trust people, and then suddenly when I needed them the most, they just completely dropped me like I didn't mean anything to them. I don't entirely blame them, because I can see from their perspective the things that they had to sacrifice if they were to help me. So, you know, don't take things too seriously, as in like, oh, you don't help me, okay, fine, I hate you and stuff like that. Or like this happened, so like a bad thing happened, so it's always going to be a bad thing. You know, be more perceptive. Always look at both sides of a story, or both sides of a coin. It's going to be difficult, but keep moving forward, because we're still here. You know, I'm still here today. I'm still somehow doing an interview to talk about this. I'm still gonna have a video chat later with my friend who I haven't seen for 2 years, because she lives very far away and it's her birthday today. I'm still gonna be able to eat, you know, as bleak as it seems, even if it's a miracle that happens, or something very, you know, good happens. You know, don't let your guard down, and always prepare. So, you know, there's two sides to every single thing they experience, or every single person that you meet.
I wish someone told me earlier to don't stressful enough with your exams lah. Because like everyone think that SPM is everything. So I really hope that someone can actually advise me and say that SPM is not everything, but SPM is actually the first step for you for everything. You know, it's actually a beginning for everything. So I really hope that someone can actually educate not just me, but also my other peers, that you know, you can just try your best no matter how bad your result is. Believe that you have your brighter future. Yeah, you have a brighter future. So don't just, you know, put SPM as your everything end of your life. So I really hope that someone can actually tell the other kids, especially this year batch. I mean, batch 04, that the one who's going to take the SPM this year for 2021. They are learning with the new syllabus, which is the KSSM. They don't even have a past year paper. They don't have a module, because everything is new. So they kind of bit struggling with what they are going through right now, especially knowing that at this moment they have to continue their learning online, and everything is not going to be easy because they don't have a past year papers. So they don't have references to, you know, what the format of their papers, you know, what's going to happen on their papers, you know, the timeline, and they have to sit for a real trial. I mean, like from the previous batch, if we don't even sit for our trial, we know what's going to happen, right? Because we already have our past year papers and we can actually refer to it. But for their batch, they have to sit for their trial. Exactly the same like the SPM, I mean, like the real trial, because they don't even know what's going to happen, you know, because they are the first batch and they are the definition of the Tikus Makmal. So the government should take note of this, and they're actually struggling. So I really hope that someone can help them, you know, to help them in terms of their in terms of their mental health, in terms of their I would say, so many things. So
a 4.0 doesn't matter. Academic success is only as much as you make it. I think this is something that I've already figured out when I took my degree. A lot of people didn't figure it out. I was in the process of brainwashing my entire class, and then COVID happened. Like I was in the process of like, hey guys, you know, get out there, make connections. You're not gonna get anywhere if you have like a 4.0. I mean, great, you have a 4.0, but there are 300 billion other people who have a 4.0, and it's great, like you can have a 4.0, but you know, if you want to get to where you are, you know, you have to make the connections. You have to start early. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I feel bad for my friends because they're stuck in a system that constantly tells them A is the best way forward. I guess like getting a perfect score, because I come from a private uni. I was in a private uni when I was in diploma, and when I went to my degree, I went into a public uni. So I saw the vast difference. Like private unis, they don't really, there is some sort of focus on your personal social well-being and social education. For public universities, it's very much academic oriented. When exams come out, everyone starts asking each other about their grades and the how much they got, and yeah, so that's the mindset and the culture. I feel like that comes with the academic academics under the government and under the state. And I think that has contributed to the increase of anxiety, increase of depression, increase of loneliness and sadness among people my age, especially during a time of COVID.
Do not have your expectations set high. So whatever happens, go with flow. We learned from before that uncertainty, how to deal with uncertainties. I still struggle it personally, but I do learn a thing or two, and I'm pretty sure a lot of others learn too. I think the advice would be, I wish whatever happens, just take it one step at a time and take it slow. Don't panic. Have hope, but there's a fine line between hope and expectation. And last but not least, don't give up. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. I feel like I have anxiety even doing this interview with Jen, to be honest with you. And I don't know. I feel like just don't give up, do it. Sometimes you just sometimes you gotta break down, and then you gotta break dance afterwards. Yep.
So based on all those interviews, we can now safely say that every student is affected differently. In Fadila's case, you can see that her family is affected and then she needs to be there for her more often. In Angel's case, her livelihood as a student is affected because she can't get a job. In Rifaya's case, as an SPM student, they are left hanging in uncertainty because without their SPM results, they can't get jobs. As for students like Arisa, they are making an opportunity out of this COVID-19 pandemic to make something of themselves, to create NGOs, to solve a problem, as well as build their career during this pandemic itself. As for Yasmin's case, you can see that they are all affected mentally and their mental health suffers because during the pandemic, there are a lot of people at home, and then because they can't get the vaccine, there's a risk that everybody in the house will be affected, especially their children and their elderly. What does this mean for the rest of students in Malaysia? I mean, how will they cope? Leave any thoughts and comments about what you think about this video in the comments below. This is Jen, signing off.